The UK economy in 2024 presents a mixed bag of challenges and opportunities. While some sectors show resilience, the overall picture is one of sluggish growth, persistent inflation, and mounting public debt. The aftershocks of Brexit, combined with global economic headwinds, continue to cast a long shadow. The UK, once a beacon of economic stability, now faces an uncertain future. The government grapples with difficult choices, caught between the need to stimulate growth and the imperative to rein in spending. Ordinary Britons feel the pinch of rising prices, stagnant wages, and a shrinking social safety net. The cost of living crisis has become a stark reality for many, eroding living standards and fueling social discontent. Despite the gloom, there are glimmers of hope. Innovation in sectors like technology and renewable energy offers potential for future growth. The UK's skilled workforce and strong institutions remain key assets. The UK's GDP growth in 2024 has been anemic, hovering around a paltry 1%. This sluggish performance stands in stark contrast to the robust growth enjoyed by other advanced economies. Several factors contribute to this lackluster performance. The aftermath of Brexit continues to weigh heavily on the economy. Uncertainty surrounding trade deals, reduced access to the EU single market, and labour shortages have all taken their toll. The COVID-19 pandemic, while receding, has left lasting scars on supply chains and business investment. Global economic headwinds, including the war in Ukraine and soaring energy prices, have further exacerbated the UK's economic woes. Consumer spending, a key driver of growth, has been dampened by high inflation and declining real wages. The government's efforts to stimulate growth through tax cuts and infrastructure spending have yielded limited results. The Bank of England's interest rate hikes aimed at curbing inflation have further constrained economic activity. Inflation has become a persistent headache for the UK economy. The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, currently stands at a staggering 9%, far exceeding the Bank of England's 2% target. This surge in prices has eroded the purchasing power of consumers, squeezing household budgets and fueling social unrest. Several factors are driving this inflationary spiral. Supply chain disruptions, exacerbated by Brexit and the pandemic, have led to shortages and price hikes for goods ranging from food to electronics. The war in Ukraine has sent energy prices soaring, further fueling inflation. The Bank of England's loose monetary policy in the aftermath of the pandemic, while intended to support the economy, has also contributed to rising prices. The government's decision to raise the minimum wage, while well-intentioned, has added to inflationary pressures. To combat inflation, the Bank of England has embarked on a series of interest rate hikes. However, these measures risk stifling economic growth and increasing the burden on borrowers. Section 4 Jobs and Wages, a mixed picture. The UK labour market presents a mixed picture. While the unemployment rate remains relatively low at around 4%, the headline figure masks underlying weaknesses. Real wages, adjusted for inflation, have stagnated, eroding the purchasing power of workers. Brexit has had a significant impact on the labour market, particularly in sectors like hospitality and agriculture that relied heavily on EU workers. The resulting labour shortages have driven up wages in some industries, but have also contributed to inflationary pressures. The pandemic accelerated the shift towards remote work and automation, leading to job losses in some sectors and increased demand for skilled workers in others. This mismatch between skills and available jobs poses a challenge for policymakers. The government has implemented various initiatives to support job creation and skills development. However, more needs to be done to address the root causes of wage stagnation and ensure that the benefits of economic growth are shared more equitably. Section 5. The burden of debt, a looming shadow. The UK's public debt has reached alarming levels, exceeding 100% of GDP. This mountain of debt is a legacy of the 2008 financial crisis, the pandemic, and years of government borrowing to fund public services and stimulate the economy. The rising cost of servicing this debt, coupled with slower economic growth, limits the government's ability to invest in essential public services like healthcare and education. Austerity measures implemented in recent years have further strained public finances and exacerbated social inequalities. The government faces a delicate balancing act. It must reduce the deficit and stabilize the debt-to-GDP ratio while also investing in growth and addressing pressing social needs. Failure to do so could lead to a sovereign debt crisis, with severe consequences for the UK economy and its citizens.